We hope you enjoy this podcast. All our conversations are inspired by films we have selected to appear on sdg.vision. So go and take a look and be inspired by people and organisations who are making valuable contributions to the Sustainable Development Goals and making our world a better place for everybody to live. Now, sit back, enjoy, be inspired, and afterwards, go and take action.
Well, on today's SDG Vision podcast, we travel all the way to the eastern part of the Democratic Republic of Congo, and I'm really delighted that we're speaking with a remarkable young man called Olo. Hello, Olo.
Hi, Pierre.
Great. Well, we're really pleased you can join us. We heard about you when we saw a film that we've got on the channel. It's called Olo's Story, Young Peace Builders. Now, that was a film that was made by the Collective Leadership Institute. Funnily enough, we talked to Martin Fielko from the Collective Leadership Institute last week or a couple of weeks ago. And I said to Martin, I said, do you think it might be possible for you to introduce me to Olo? And he said, yeah, I think so, yeah. And I was really delighted that you then sent me an email and said, I'd love to talk. So here we are. So Olo, fantastic to have you on. We're going to find more about your work and what you do and your life story. So first things first, what inspired you to set up your organization, the Community Support Center, when you were such a young man?
Thank you, Pierre, for this question, and thank you for having me here. I'm grateful for the collective leadership and all fellow young people builder who we learn together about how can we drive change together and by using this collective leadership approach. So thank you very much for this opportunity. According to your question, from 3 age up to 12, I've been suffering from ringworm. And I was isolated, discriminated against in my community, even at the school. Nobody could eat with me. Nobody wanted to become my friends. No one wanted to sit with me at the school, just my grand sister. And only persons who were very close to me were my family members, especially my grand sister, Francine, and my grandmother. Their care or their love, their compassion keeps me going every day. And I grew up like isolated, excluded in my community, and I've been feeling like I'm not important for living or doing something. So I've been faking to do something, to give back what I missed when I was a child, is just love, compassion, happiness, joy, or belonging. So those years shaped my deepest belief. No one should ever feel unwanted, unseen, or excluded. And in 2016, at 21 years old, I made myself promise. It was to create safe spaces where people can heal and find a way to thrive. This is their story, and it's how I created Community Support Center. So this center, the vision was I was excluded and I was rejected. So I don't want to see other children excluded or rejected. What can I do to give back or to support those who are excluded or rejected? I learned mechanics, let me tell you that. And I was really super technician than social work. but I've been faking to do something to give back to my community. I also graduated in civil engineering, but my passion to give back what I missed pushed me to create community support center, and where women, children affected by war, poverty, discrimination, and disasters can find healing, dignity, and hope.
It's really interesting. So your inspiration came from your own experiences as somebody who was discriminated against.
Absolutely. My inspiration comes from my own story or my own experience. 9 years I was discriminated and I've been feeling certain being excluded in your community because you are suffering from ringworm or you are different, something like that.
So give me an idea, Olo. You say you suffered from ringworm. How did people know that? Why did they say, I don't want anything to do with you?
This ringworm caused lesion on my head and it's still visible. Until today, you can see that. So it smells badly and no one could come close to me. Yeah.
So some people, if they face tough times, they get angry, they get hateful, they hate people who are nasty towards them. But you chose love. You chose the opposite. You chose a positive.
Yeah. You know, sometimes I wanted to give hope because this loneliness was everywhere and it was difficult. But when I grew up, I've been thinking if all those children, especially those conflict affected, not just in the DR Congo, but around the world, those discriminated groups, they are feeling how I've been feeling. And I've been identifying my story on those people. And that's why I said I have to do the one who makes a difference. Support those who are discriminated or those who are forgotten. Yeah.
That's a lovely approach to life, I think. And also, it seems also that not only did you have your personal problem, but you were in a country in the eastern part of the Democratic Republic of Congo that has a lot of problems as well. I'm wondering what are the biggest challenges you and the Community Support Centre face in supporting women and children in your country?
The biggest challenge for us is to get sustainable funding. We run this organization since 2016 without any potential partner or funder or donor. And we contribute ourselves to support our community. It is a big challenge for us. And we need partners to strengthen our capacity in different areas of work we act or we are intervening on, like healing trauma and promoting peace through sports, or global warming mitigation through environmental management, child safeguarding, trauma therapy, sexual reproductive health, also education, vocational education for women, and many others. So, child education support. So we need people to join us, to commit or to engage, to help us to scale up our impact or to continue helping many vulnerable in our community. And another challenge is, the ongoing conflicts, educators of conflicts in our region, especially in the Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo. Everyone knows what's going on here, and this conflict cause many pain or increase the number of vulnerable in our community.
So for people who don't know anything about the Democratic Republic of Congo, because we have an audience from across the world, can you briefly describe what is happening? Not political terms, but generally what is happening in the Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo.
Yes, of course. Yeah, this is no political issue, and we are not talking about political. Yes, of course. The Democratic Republic of Congo, since 1994, there was conflict, the genocide in Rwanda, and some armed groups moved in Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo. Eastern Democratic of Congo is a part where with a lot of mining, and all people, tribals or ethnics want to take lands and to control to get the resources. The conflict started not just for NEGPO or armed groups from other countries, but internally also serious conflicts arising due to control of mining. So women, children are called to work hard to get money to buy food or to pay for their children at school. It's how it started. And the ongoing conflict increased the number of vulnerable. And the most affected are women and children.
Yeah, so you've got a situation where you've got poverty anyway. There's a lot of poverty, but you've got conflict, armed conflict as well, which makes it a very difficult situation, I'm sure. And I'm wondering, because it's quite complicated, your work. Can you just share us a simple story of somebody who has been positively impacted, who has been helped by your work?
Yeah, I have so many stories and many testimonials are available on our website homepage. Just scroll down. There is many testimonials, but I can just share two of them. There is two young participants of our Play for Peace and Mental Health Support Program. One day, when I visited the field, the IDP, internally displaced person camp, they came in front of me and said, they're from divided tribal, and they've been in conflicts for many years. Their families don't share food, don't speak, and those participants started joining our Play for Peace and Mental Health Support Program. And one day when I visited the field, they said, Olo, your program helped us to become friends. Now the conflict finished. And something like this. I've been like, oh, that's it, really? Oh, what's going on? And there is another young girl or young woman living in the same camp who said they didn't have a job, they didn't have work. This year program support young girls entrepreneurship, leadership, and vocational training or empowerment, help them to get jobs. And they said the community support center gives them jobs, opportunities, and also dignity. They are now respected in the community.
So how did you work with them? What sort of skills did you give them, or confidence building did you give them?
Thank you very much. For example, for our Play for Peace and Mental Health Support Program, P4PM, I call it, we use sports and local games to build peace, to resolve conflicts, to heal trauma, to strengthen mental health, to promote gender equality, and also raise awareness about climate change. So we have a curriculum under development with our own strategies. We welcome all participants living in internal displaced persons camp and refugee camp. Also, we work with a remote city. So we create safe spaces for them, like a circle. We have a circle 5 minutes of mindfulness, and on this circle, we have specific questions. 100 questions focusing on peace building and conflict resolution. 100 questions for each term, as I listed, and everyone share his perspective or his own point of view. There is no bad answer, there is no good answer. We clap hands and together we decide this is acceptable, this is not. So this builds their confidence and also help not just them but all of us to tie relationship with trust.
Yeah, so it enabled people to share their experiences, talk about the right way forward, reach agreement, which is great, which is terrific, especially in an area where there's conflict. You're doing the opposite. You're bringing people together, which is very powerful, very, very powerful. And you talked about sports as well, in terms of sports, how you sports. Can you give us an example of how the Community Support Centre uses sports?
Yes, of course. First of all, I can start with how did we start this Sport for Development program. It's just our own initiative. We learned that we are divided, and something which can unite people is a sport. When there is a football match, there is a ton of people or a large number of people come together and assist to activities. And we have been thinking, how can we call this program? And I said, something like reflecting on peace, reflecting on mental health, something reflecting on the gender, and we call this program P4PM, Play for Peace and Mental Health Support. And this jersey is for P4PM. Yeah, and we start welcoming those conflict affected children together. Say come together. We start with the 5 minutes of mindfulness, and also we accept all kinds of sports, excepting boxing and judo. So each participant choose kinds of sport you want to play. But for now, we play table tennis, we play football, we play local games like kange, karaoke, jump rope, and many others. So they are not just coming practicing sports, but learning best practices to help them to thrive. So some minutes are proper for sports and others for life education.
Okay, so you combine sport and also you have little sessions on team building or how to work together.
Yeah. We combine sport with life education.
And it's lovely. I'm really interested. You say in every program, you say we start with a mindfulness session. I think I know what it is, but I just want to be sure. What is your mindfulness? How does it work?
Yeah, mindfulness is just the 5 minutes before and after the sport activities. We stand up on a circle, all participants come together, and we sit there remembering all those conflict affected, those who are discriminated, not just in Nigeria, Congo, but around the globe. This 5 minutes is to regulate our emotion, to feel present in the space, to be ready for activities.
Do you feel that has an effect, an impact on people? How do you know that works?
I've been trying to find a way I can heal myself, I can heal my heart myself, and I've been trying many things. So by myself, I was born in a small village, but I don't know. I can say it was just an inspiration, and which I can explain how I get it. When we started practicing, now we are playing music during this 5 minutes. Just everyone can feel, oh, I'm okay here, and I'm in a safe space. I'm ready to share my story. I'm ready to create friends, and I'm ready to do things together with others. So when we started, it was like, "Ah, what is that? It's a meditation. It is it prayer. It's what?" But the more we practiced this, it was something powerful, and all participants enjoyed this moment of a silence.
That's lovely. I think it's a really practical example of how, people, they can lead their lives and it's really busy, there's a lot of noise, but if they stand together peacefully, they can calm down and begin to act more like human beings.
Yes, of course, and also this improve inner peace because you are hearing your body, you are thinking about your past or your story, and you feel safe, you feel ready to share, and you feel comfortable.
Yeah, no, I think that's really useful for other people to learn about your approach. I think that's really good. Also, I read also that Community Support Centre does a lot of environmental programs as well, and I wonder how that helps in sort of healing and rebuilding communities.
Yes, of course, we have a program which we call Global Warming Mitigation through Environmental Management. This program has two core activities. One is Seeds the Future, and another one is PAFA. PAFA program is a program which supports farm agriculture women, teaching them basic practices to save environmental and cultivating sustainable food or to implement sustainable agriculture systems. And the Seeds the Future focus on planting trees. In our area in Uvira, especially, there is a lot of floods, and something comes in our minds. We need to plant trees to reduce risks of floods or disasters. When we are planting trees, we are not just healing the land, we are also building hope of those who lost their relatives or their family members or their lands because of floods. And this Seeds the Future. This is Seeds the Future project. It is not just for planting fruit trees, but also planting trees which can mitigate the effect of disasters. And it's playing double roles, uh, reducing food insecurity and also co-creating microclimates and trying to mitigate the effect of floods, yeah, or disasters.
I mean, it's incredible to think that you're experiencing flooding as well as, armed conflict, poverty. Has climate change, do you think it's contributed to flooding in your area?
Of course, yes, because in the past, I can say it was just like 24, but one day I looked on my laptop and saw the temperature in Uvira increased to 32 degree. So all those temperature challenges contribute to this situation, the present situation now.
Yeah, that's amazing. So not only are you doing something practical in terms of putting in new trees, but also it seems that's a symbol of hope. These trees become a symbol of hope for people as well.
Of course, yes.
That's lovely. That's really nice. Now, you've got the Community Support Centre has a sort of a slogan. I think it's healing hearts and building futures. And I wonder, what does that mean in general, but what does it mean to you personally as well?
Yeah, healing hearts, building futures, and it is not just a slogan for us. It is, I can say, it is my own story. I can say that. If I couldn't heal my heart, I couldn't build community support center. And when we build the community support center, we build the future of the most vulnerable. So healing hearts, building futures, it's not just a slogan. It means healing someone's heart is to overcome emotional or physical wounds. And build futures is to give resources, education, skills they need to be self-reliant. That's what I can say. That means healing hearts, building futures. It's giving someone full potential to thrive. But this potential must become by someone is self. We have to start by healing ourselves for helping others or to build a great future.
It's really interesting because I think a lot of what we were talking about earlier comes back into the conversation. And I remember asking you, well, you had a really tough childhood. You could have become an angry man, but you chose to be a peaceful man, you know. And I think that's such a huge example of how you can heal your heart. And it really interests me because the mindfulness that you talked about can play a big part in this as well.
Yeah. And also I can add something is we cannot build peace without healing our hearts, because when we heal our hearts, we can be ready to speak openly, to share what is going on in our minds, the real problem we're experiencing. But if my heart is not healed, it will be difficult to talk with someone. Yeah. That's why healing hearts, building futures is not just a slogan, but a model who help us to move forward.
So maybe you've answered this next question, but I was going to ask, how have you stayed hopeful and how have you become resilient despite, so many challenges, floods, poverty, conflict? Is it the healing hearts? Is that how you've done it?
I become a resilient, seeing the energy of all staff members or team members, because there is a quote, African quote said, alone we go fast, but together we go so far. So when I see people trusting on what we are doing, in our vision, in our mission, this keeps me more resilient. Because I can mention that there is a lot of challenges in our organization right now. We don't have a paid staff. All of us, we are working on volunteer basis. No, none of us is paid. And those people, or all of us, this energy, love, commitment, we bring together, motivate me to stay strong and to become more resilient. Because we have team members in France, we have team members in Spain, we have team members in United Kingdom, we have team members in United States of America, and in DR Congo. So when I see the commitment, the energy everyone bring in this vision, keeps me more motivated, I can say. And also the collective leadership approach we are using within our organization, the engagement of those people, the collective intelligence, the empathy we're sharing, and also the innovation from each of us is more. It's more inspiring and keeps me more resilient. Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it?
And I can add, those smile we are sharing with those vulnerable when they are smiling and said, "Oh, we are making change here." So we want to stop, but to keep it moving.
That's lovely. I think, yeah, the act that smiling can be a really healing force in itself. That's lovely. And the collective leadership thing I like as well. I loved your answer about, getting strength from your team, because obviously you are a very talented leader, but you don't just lead alone. It's collective leadership.
Getting my certification in a collective leadership approach as a specialist, I started implementing the approach within our organization and help us to thrive today and to become more productive because there is specific tools which every leader would can need or needs.
So do you want to talk about some of those tools?
Yes, of course, I can talk about the collective leadership compass. This with a success dimension. It's how do we analyze or how do we bring change together? How do we commit together to bring change? How do we lead? Like humanity with future possibilities. How do we lead with empathy? And how do we build the future or plan the future together? Engagement with collective intelligence. How do we engage people and how their skills help us to move forward? So innovation with wholeness. How do we innovate? How do we change things in our organization? Yeah. And also there is a dialogic change model. How do we engage different stakeholders for a shared vision? Yeah.
That's nice. I mean, that brings me on to the Sustainable Development Goals, and you talked about the need for partnership at many different levels, which is Sustainable Development Goal number 17 is partnership for the goals. And I just wondered, Olo, have you been aware of the Sustainable Development Goals? Does the Community Support Centre refer to the Sustainable Development Goals, support them in any way?
Yes. Our organization supports many SDGs, Sustainable Development Goals, and among them there is SDG number 1, no poverty. Through our program like Seeds the Future, Buffer, we empower women and communities with sustainable agriculture skills to create a livelihood and reduce poverty. There is SDG number 3, which is good health and well-being. Through our Play for Peace and Mental Health Support Program, trauma therapy services, we provide individual and group therapy. We are also contributing to SDG number 3. And quality education, SDG number 4. We provide scholarships, school kits, and a mentorship to internal displaced persons or children. And also, our work meets the SDG number 5, reducing inequality or promoting gender equality. Through our Play for Peace and Mental Health Support, we have a mixed gender team. Boys and girls play together. This is our approach because we want to improve girls' participation in sports and to improve the inclusion of girls in sport. There is many barriers in our cultures, so we want to break down barriers and to give girls the opportunities to play and also to become leaders. And also we have a program called Him Power and Power. This program focuses on teaching boys on gender equality and teaching girls on entrepreneurship, leadership, and vocational training. So we also made the SDG number 10, reducing inequality. our programs are open for everyone. We give chance or opportunities to all participants, regardless of their religion, background, origin, or social status, something like that. Also, climate action, our tree planting and sustainable agriculture effort help community adapt to mitigate the climate challenges impacts. And the SDG number 16, peace, justice, and strong institution, especially on our P4PM, Play for Peace and Mental Health Support program. We are not just promoting peace, we are also promoting child safeguarding.
I think you've missed one out as well. SDG 11, sustainable cities and communities.
Of course, yes.
You get that one as well. It's amazing. I really like the way that you work. The Sustainable Development Goals, I think, teach us that life is complicated and that you cannot solve one issue by one approach. You have to look at the whole situation. And I think that's what the Community Support Centre does. It recognises, yes, there's poverty, but there's poverty because gender inequality, there's also climate change is affecting with the floods, and so you have to do work on that. I think it's a really powerful approach. I wonder, Olo, what would you say is your ultimate vision for the future of the Community Support Centre, but also, obviously, for the communities that it works with?
Thank you, Pierre. My vision is to see the Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo, where every child can dream without fear, where women rise and lead without barriers, and where communities flourish in peace, dignity, and also unity. We work with three core values: dignity, humanity, and solidarity. I want to see people standing together or come together to drive change, in our community. So I want to see the Community Support Center to stand as a lasting force of healing and hope. A place where safe spaces, trauma therapy, quality education, sustainable livelihood are not just privilege for few, but everyday reality for all people. Like refugee, internally displaced, women, children, young, everyone. And at the heart of this vision is our dream to build a hub center for inclusion and empowerment. Essentially, it will be a place where the most vulnerable or marginalized can find their voices again, reclaim their dreams, and rebuild their future with courage and prayer. Because we want to build a big center, which will have a school, we have a space for sharing experiences, a career styles for volunteers, for our guests, and all people who want to visit the Community Support Center. We have pitch, football pitch, basketball, table tennis, and a temporary space for children, and a big garden. We dream to have some fruits there in the center.
Yeah, but I mean that shouldn't just be a dream. It should be something that you do get, and to get that, as you've said, you need support. And obviously, our audience are from across the world. So, what website? What is the website address? How can people support your work?
People can support our work directly on our website, or they can get in touch with us via our info@csc-drc.org, or they can express interest to partner or to collaborating with us, we are open to collaborate with all people, all stakeholders. And I would like to mention that on our website, do some bank challenges in Nigeria, Congo. We have a bank account opened in France with Quaker Nouvelle Aquitaine organization. So all those donations come directly to us. So it is an account created for supporting the community support center.
That's great. So that's all on the website. We'll put the website address on the screen so people can find it easily. And we really encourage people to support your work. It really is quite incredible, the work that you're doing. One last thing, Olo, that I want to talk to you about. There are many young people across the world who'll be watching this. Of course, they can support your work. Of course, we encourage them to do that. But what advice would you give them if they want to become peace builders?
Start with your own story and the reality of your community, like me. I started with my own story and the reality of my community. So you don't need you don't need a big budget. What matters is a big heart. And be patient and have the courage to persevere when the time is hard. Also, listen more than you speak, serve more than you expect to receive. And remember, change begins small but grow through collaboration. That is why I deeply encourage young peace builders around the globe to explore the Collective Leadership Institute's Young Peace Builder program, which is an ongoing program. We started in 2024 and there is another cohort this year, 25, sorry. And hopefully we can get another cohort in 2026. So they can explore. There is a great opportunity. This initiative helps emerging peace builders from conflict-affected regions like me and develop, resilience and collective leadership skills through experimental tools like what I said. CLI is a collective leadership compass and is a dialogic change model. So participants learn navigating complex stakeholders landscape and foster collaborative initiatives and co-create lasting peace. So what I can say above all, never underestimate the power of your own story. It can be the spark that ignites the peace in others. I can repeat this. Above all, never underestimate the power of your own story. It can be the spark that ignites the peace in others.
As you have shown, as you showed through your story, through your personal story, which we really thank you for sharing, because obviously it's been a difficult journey that you've made in your life, but you have improved and your team have improved the lives of so many people. And as you say, it starts with a big heart in order to heal and rebuild communities. Olo, we would love to talk to you again in the future to see what is happening. I'm sure you'll have new initiatives, new programs, new stories. For the moment, we're just so happy that you shared your story. And we thank you for the fantastic work the Community Support Centre is doing. Thank you, Olo.
You're most welcome, Pierre, and I'm hoping to share all story you need or something you need from me and my community, and I can bring my colleagues to share the story with me.
That would be terrific. That might be another podcast conversation with some of your colleagues. Would be lovely. That's lovely. Well, thank you, Olo, and I'm sure you're very busy. So your community needs you to get back to them now. So we'll say goodbye for now.
Bye.
Bye-bye.